Hi, this is Dr. Randy Hurst. Realized in a video that I did last week that I'd completely forgotten some stuff. Oddly, it was the intro to sleep issues, and oddly realized it as I was falling asleep. Okay, so there's two issues that I wanted to bring up that I'd forgotten. One is I talked about the roughly hour and a half sleep cycle, and what struck me is that many people will wake up in the morning just dragged out. They can hardly have the energy to face the day for a while at least. And so as I was dealing with the hour and a half issues, it struck me that I started teaching people to figure out, okay, what time do I need to get up in the morning? Goofy story. Had a fellow who would not get up. He'd hit the snooze. 5 minutes later, he'd hit the snooze, multiple times, until his wife would come in absolutely furious with him that he had to get up to get to work. And he had a 30-minute drive to get there. So he says, I just can't get up. I can't do it. And I said, well, you always do it once it's a crisis. And I said, do you really want to train your wife to be a raving, screaming witch? Or whatever you want to call her. Because that was what was happening. She had learned that he wouldn't do it unless she just absolutely came down on his head. But for whatever reason, I know what the reasons were. She tried to get him up multiple times, apart from the snooze alarm. So I said, look, you're training her to be crazy at you, angry at you. Is that really what you want in your marriage, the quality of your marriage? I said, what time do you need to get up in order to get underway, get it going? And he gave me a time. And so I said, let's look back at least 7.5 hours. You know, if you're really somebody who needs sleep, let's go back 9. But these are multiples of an hour and a half, because we'd already established that he had roughly right at an hour and a half for his cycle. Let's go backwards and figure out when you need to be ready to sleep. And I said, now let's look at the sleep hygiene issues they talk about in terms of when do you start quieting down? When do you stop getting on the computer, having a lot of screen time? And how do you not have TV in the bedroom? The kinds of things that help set up for falling asleep. I said, okay, now you know the time to at least be in bed. Doesn't mean you'll actually fall asleep, but it does mean that your whole system is getting ready. And it does seem, in my own kind of personal experiments, that getting ready and setting the stage really does kind of seem to start the cycle, at least in most cases. That way, you have a full cycle when your alarm goes off. But then you really have to remember, I don't want to make my wife or my spouse, depending on the person, a crazy, screaming, crazy person. So I need to make myself get up. And this is, he had a wired in pattern. So he had to force himself for a while, but it was helped by being at the end of a cycle where you're the most awake. Which brings up really the other thing, which is if you wake up in the morning and you look at the clock, the watch, whatever, or alarm clock, and you go, oh, I can get another half hour. I can get another 45 minutes. Do not do it. Do not do it. Because you're starting into a cycle that's putting you deep into sleep when the alarm goes off. You will feel miserable. Do not do it. Get up, have a cup of coffee, whatever your morning thing is, do some exercise or whatever it is, because you've gotten to the end of a cycle. Now, this is predicated on the idea that you didn't wake up in a startle. That's the apnea thing that I talked about in the intro. But if you woke up and you go, oh, just give me a little more time, do not do it. You will feel so much better by going ahead, getting up. It'll help start the day better than getting deep into the sleep cycle and then having the dang alarm go off. So those are the two things I'd forgotten. Count back a number of cycles to when you should go to sleep, and do not wait for the alarm. If you get up within that 45, 50, 60 minutes even, you want to be able to complete the cycle. Go ahead and get up and start your day. That'll help you be ready for sleep the next night, to be on a good cycle. You heard it already. Okay, that's enough to finish this, and I will have more for you soon. Thanks.